for the people listening, how would you describe it?
I think the best way to start off is to say our upbringing. Honestly, finally, we met each other about 3 years ago. Longer? 4?
Well, no, not quite 4, because it was A school was in summer.
Yeah, 3 years ago. It was about September of 2018.
Yeah.
Walk in, see this goofball standing
VRC
there.
30. I was TAD to VRC 30 because my
For all
command
you
hadn't stored
civilian
up.
folk, he was not supposed to be where he was. For a
We
short
are
period of time.
prior military. I'm prior military.
You're prior military. Maybe when this comes
I'm
out,
a
I
veteran
will be
now.
Yeah, it's wow, about time. Honestly, I should be out at the same time, but I'm not.
So we met in. Well, actually, we saw each other in A school, but we met in VRC 30. Walked in the same shop. We had the same job. Went to the same shop.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, I play piano.
I play guitar.
It was a jam."
It was like that. Hopefully this doesn't get copyrighted. It's like that Step Brothers scene where they meet on the lawn for the very first time.
It was good.
It worked, and here we are. We wrote a couple songs. Yeah, and we got some noises for you too.
I have my keyboard for effects.
You got the keyboard for effects.
Unfortunately, I don't know what the different effects are.
Also,
until
I don't
hit
even
them,
know
so.
how well they're coming through the speakers right now. So if he does effects, you just hear something.
No,
you
you can hear it a little bit, but it is totally not recorded the way we should. We gotta have a different input for that.
We eventually will, yeah.
But
if
I
you
have
guys
something.
Want to,
sorry, hold on, hold that thought.
If you guys want to provide some funding to Absolute Science to help us get better equipment, you can do so through our link tree. We have a Venmo.
More importantly, listen to our song.
More importantly,
just give it a chance. Give it a 35-second chance.
I don't even think that.
Give our last 2 songs a 35-second chance.
I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. We have a lot of good feedback so far from the people that have heard it for both White Noise and
I really don't care.
What do you mean? You just said that you
what you
want to
hear. Not what you want to
it.
hear. Or Bryant wants to hear, and we'll introduce Bryant another day, kind of helping us out with marketing. But like I don't care as much as everybody else probably wants me to, because I'm focused on us just being the best we can and making the best music.
Oh, of course.
And that's why I said, like, give our last 2 songs a 35-second chance. I mean, it's better than 5 seconds. It's not like a TikTok, which we are trying to. Everybody keeps telling us TikTok. That's the way. Way to get.
I feel like I'm getting old.
That's the way to get.
I feel like I'm out of touch with social media and stuff.
That's the way to get revenue to your not revenue.
Views?
To channel people into your channel. But that's
a ravine.
Funnel. Redirect people to your channel to get a stream.
There it is.
Stream.
A stream. We want people to just know who we are, and honestly, whether or not you like us. We're just trying to be out here. We're just grinding. We're just grinding like everybody else. Just trying to get out there.
Too close.
I can't hear myself as well as I can hear you.
I promise you that.
No, I know it's there, but
I'm
the quality, I don't think it's not really for talking. We you know what? That's what we need. We need another mic.
We probably could use an SM7B.
Because
all right, you know what? Okay,
crisp.
if you do want to, if you do want to fund the show, if this is worth listening to, our Venmo is in the link tree.
We are looking for. We are trying to get some new.
But you know, what have we learned from all of our other projects? I think this would be cool to talk about in the podcast. I think what this podcast is going to be about is the experiences we've had as an unsigned artist, startup, build up, do it yourself, kind of just. From nothing to something, because we were literally jamming. When we talked about when we met, we literally started just jamming
in military
barracks guitars and just hanging out. And you know, I just got out a few weeks ago, and you're getting out this year, and now we
got our own place.
We've redirected our energy and focus. Yeah,
this show's really just going to be about, you know, adversity and the future and seeing where we're going to end up.
But more importantly, I think if I were listening to this podcast, I'd want to hear about the experiences, the trials and tribulations of doing what we do and what we've done.
A day in the life of the unsigned artist.
That's a cool episode. That is
really
that is behind the scenes of our Making It Before I Met You is out. it is really cool to see kind of the behind the scenes, our experiences, our trials and tribulations of coming up, and who we are now. Because that's what I would look for in a music podcast, especially from nobody we have no notoriety whatsoever.
Nobody knows
We're
no
not even trying. We have no
We are
credibility or
nobody.
notoriety.
We are physically nobody.
About 30% musicianship that we honestly wish that we possessed, but but we hold something in what I do positively hear from when people listen to me, the people that really do like it, not because they're direct family or friends and they have to like it, but like the people that do like it, there's some kind of unique good feeling. There's things that we've always been able to polish more because we've gone from recording at home to a studio to back to home because we learn more, and then back to the studio because we know to take advantage of those opportunities.
It's all a learning curve, the whole thing. Anytime we pay somebody for any sort of service, we take it and then we apply it to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
That's what we do every time. And honestly, I would applaud anybody else that's listening to this. If you're trying to do something, you're trying to make it, pay for the credible knowledge and then do it yourself.
Yeah. That's the best. That's the best way to learn is to do it.
'Cause the only person, it's not like, people make mistakes, but if you are the one holding yourself back, well then you need to kick yourself in the booty.
That's the booty kick sound.
That's the booty kick sound? Yeah. If you're going to do it.
Oh boy.
If you guys haven't
But
seen
that's
that
also
one, that's a good video.
That is cool. The behind the scenes of before. That's what I was getting at. The behind the scenes before I met you. That's a cool. I wouldn't even say necessarily in depth because there's nothing to. It doesn't go too far in detail on the intimacies that we kind of went to crafting that song and talking to us one-on-one a little more. And I did love it. And Bryant did an awesome job with that video. So that's what I'm hoping for in this podcast is to continue to give maybe a deeper glimpse of who we are and what we're doing that you can't say in a 7-minute montage behind the scenes.
Putting a
but that is
face to
cool,
a
and that
name.
is on YouTube. All right, we said it.
Yeah.
That is cool. That is on
That's
YouTube.
the ad. That's the ad for this one. But honestly, it's like putting faces to names, There's no one artist that just plays on stage. They branch out. They do other things. They do talk shows. They some even have their own podcast,
Yeah, I don't think this is
media,
even necessarily. I mean, God knows I branch out.
Yeah, well, of course. Networking is like one of the biggest things in our repertoire.
Yeah, God knows I branch out to just random ass things all the time. But shout out Goodwood, my furniture flipping, my furniture flipping business on the side. We're going public with that, and
nice.
thought I'd be a mixologist earlier this summer. What else did I
yeah.
do? Yeah, we've been doing like kind of vlog stuff, and then
So many on the sides things.
yeah, it's too bad, really, lack of focus. But no, I would argue that this right here is not kind of a drift. I think this is kind of right on the line of being an artist, of sharing these intimate details of our story and our purpose and our direction. Released our first EP after, it was only, was it? No, it was. I was going to say it was only months after meeting each other.
Within the first year.
It was within the first year because
year.
we met and started hanging out for like 3 months, and then I went to C school. I went to North Carolina. I went to New
Dude
River.
was gone, wrote a song, came back, and that was the start.
Wrote a bunch of
Black
songs. I was
Death
like
Party.
Black Death Party, Jackie.
Jeez.
We wrote Pipe Dream when I came back.
Yep.
What else was on that?
Green Eyes.
Green Eyes. I don't know when I wrote that.
That was the. I
wrote
think that
parts
was the
of it.
last one to be written.
That was probably that was our first EP. That's not even under Absolute Silence. That's under Steve.
You even have a music video for that. That
It's
one got
actually-
a lot of views.
That one, no, not
Green
views,
Eyes.
but listens. They got a lot of on Spotify. A surprising amount of listens.
Yeah.
For like, the
Just
combination of our
under
first
1,000.
EP was. No, it was almost like a combination of those 4 songs was almost equal to what we're coming in now if you subtract our latest release.
Oh yeah.
But on Spotify and Apple Music is its own beast. Like you have to have a reason. People have to have a reason to come listen to you. The same way, like if you're playing at a big venue, we've learned, obviously people need a reason to come see you. People either know you from Spotify or Apple Music and they come see you in concert when they hear you're coming through, or people see you in concert, good concert, and they want to check you out on Apple Music, Spotify. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword that isn't great either way.
No.
But the first EP we made in the studio, Signature
Christian
Sound
Cummings.
with Christian Cummings.
Phenomenal
And
guy.
awesome,
Phenomenal.
awesome engineer, and God bless him for picking us up. For
Oh my God.
like we
nothing.
made it on like a 200. We made demos of those 4 songs,
And then had to
a
redo
laptop.
all of them.
Oh, we've always
of
had to
course.
redo it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
demo,
No.
but there was no metronome, there was no MIDI. Everything that he ever told us, like he was the greatest first stepping stone for Absolute Silence and just us as,
And all of what we are now
songwriters,
has
everything.
derived from that entire, probably
Yeah, I mean it's all
mostly
learning.
from that
the learning
that
experiences.
studio visit. That was
That was great.
the biggest wake up.
Yeah,
I said, like, seeing what it just the tip of the iceberg of what it truly can take to be great is all the things that
Definitely,
go into it. And we
yeah,
learned
I
a
feel
lot
like
from him.
the past 3 years has been a massive learning curve. I feel
my
like, and
gosh.
is finally this third year coming into fruition of that learning curve. Is, I don't want to say plateau in a bad way. It's kind of a good way that we kind of really caught ourselves up to speed with the standards of the music industry. And now with the technical skills that we're teaching ourselves with audio and editing and all those things, that we're able to kind of at least sustain on a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, God bless him for picking us up on that first
God
EP
bless.
without anything and everything he said that we had to get into.
Couple of
Some of them I was
goofballs
stubborn to get
rolling
into, but
the
we-
studio. Hey, we got some songs
Yeah,
we'd want you to do. How did you even reach out to him in the first place? How did you get his contact? Because I knew.
we literally didn't. I literally Googled studios and said we were driving around. We take a lot of drives.
That's right.
You remember,
yeah.
we drove all over the place.
We were trying to figure out where we were,
We took a drive, and I was like, I think we had talked about wanting to just check out music studios.
Yeah.
Half out of curiosity of like, that would be just cool to see a studio anyway. And then the other half of like legitimately thinking maybe, kind of
Time to get the ball rolling.
Yeah. But like visually and put it into perspective and see it,
Mhm.
get that imagery of like, this is what it looks like and this is where we want to be. And so I remember Googling it, and we happened to be on Convoy Street. We just literally happened to be in that part of San Diego, and that was the closest
we really
one.
were right around
Well,
there
I
when we
called
looked
one place before, and it was like a kind of a hip hop EDM that was kind of their niche. But this was Blink-182 and Unwritten Laws. This is where they did the most of the stuff. U2's been there.
Pretty
Chris
big
Brown.
studio. Pretty big studio
and then
in Southern
Christian,
California. for sure.
obviously, a legendary kind of rock, alt rock
Producer,
engineer.
engineer.
And yeah, he's produced and he's a great
He's the
drummer
goat.
too.
He's the goat.
Yeah, he's cool for picking us up and doing that first EP with us. Just really rough, and we only intended on making just really high quality demos at the end of the day, and then we went on to kind of. I would send him tracks that I was doing, and then we finally, I think, our first big I'll say hit in the sense of successful completion of all the elements, the songwriting to the recording and the video was nice too. I'd say for spare parts, our first
Oh my goodness.
really good successful release, and kind of in all categories, and that was
Absolutely.
he was involved in every step of the way in that, and so that was really great, and that was a huge learning experience. And then we applied that to the releases after that. We kind of went rogue for a little while of trying to just do things on our own, and we weren't ready. We had the knowledge of what we needed, but we didn't have the technical skills to apply them.
Definitely.
And we did these last two. But enough of that. Now we have our story out there. What was the biggest hurdle?
The biggest hurdle? Well, honestly, it's aside from money.
Money
It's
and time and money.
Time.
Money and time.
You know,
Time and money.
I've been deployed twice now, each amounting to about 6 months. So that's like a whole year.
And then
of
working
time
10,
that
12
we've
hours a day,
lost.
even when you are home guard.
Both of us working 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes different shifts, so we don't see each other for a week.
It's possible. If this ever works out,
Anybody
it's
can
possible.
do it. If we can do it, anybody can do it.
from
Quite
this moment,
honestly.
if I'm saying this right now and anybody looking back, if it works out from here, it is possible because we have given everything.
Given all the time,
yeah.
blood, sweat, tears, trying our best to plead and cry to take off work and
And I'm glad,
Gosh.
and I'm glad we don't. I mean, in that sense, in the sense of like the stuff we're making now, I feel successful. Like I don't think we need to measure it in recognition. Obviously, that's what a lot of people from the outside perspective are looking for. Have they been acknowledged, recognized?
Right.
What's their streams? What are their views? But if your product's not great, if I'm not, if you're not, like if you're not satisfied with the people that are watching it, what's their reaction? Are they emotionally moved? Are they motivated? Are they inspired? Are they just, did they feel something that they weren't before they clicked on it? You know?
Yeah.
That's everything.
What does the future look like? Oh my gosh.
Future.
In a year time, we'll both be living in
We're
Nashville.
gonna be in Nashville.
Nashville, Tennessee. Going to college.
What are you gonna major in?
Higher education. I'm trying to go for music technology.
Music
A
technology.
bachelor's in music
So that's
technology.
slightly different from audio engineering.
Yeah,
or
because
that
I
is-
guess from my understanding, from just summarizing and reading the courses like on the actual website, audio engineering seems to be for any type of audio, like even podcasts, literally just anything. Whereas music technology focuses on the different recording styles, the different mics to use.
Yeah.
That is this specialized field for recording music. And honestly, and being able to do exactly what we've been doing here, just on a higher
And that's
level.
in the that's different. That's outside of the industry school or the business school. That is in the
right.
that's a
in the
performance.
it is a
performance
It is a
major.
performance major. Yes,
That's cool.
it is a bachelor's of performing music. Oh, jeez, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it is in the School of Music on the campus.
Yeah.
So big difference, and also you
Yeah.
have to actually do an audition for that
Yeah.
with a mix. You have to
That's great.
make a mix. You got to make one that's all MIDI, I believe.
Yeah.
You got to do some that's both. There's a bunch of stipulations for it, but yeah, it is a big difference. And quite honestly, I don't think I would ever even consider going to college or furthering my education if
If it
the
wasn't
Navy
that.
wasn't paying for it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, sometimes
Because
it can be a
incredible
good
knowledge
investment.
is great,
I mean,
but nowadays you can learn anything.
it's a valid
for
point.
free.
Like, there's definitely a huge argument. I left college. I left my freshman
You
year
did.
at Fredonia.
I went
Because
right
I
out of high
didn't-
school into the Navy.
Well, I didn't see what it was going to do for me. I knew that I didn't have the direction. I wanted the financial independence and life experience to even have a chance
Of
at
course.
creating something relatable. But I didn't see where a lot of the students' mindset was, living for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just kind of passively getting a degree in something that might work. And that I just like kind of saw.
Honestly, I feel like I'm getting a second chance. I don't know about
It definitely is. Yeah, definitely is
because
a second chance. And
we got the
you
life skills
learn.
now. Yeah, we got the life skills. We're going back with a totally different mindset. We have a goal. We have goals to meet. Whereas I feel like, I'm sure there's quite a few students that go to college knowing exactly what they're going to do, and they set out
And
to
then
do
that's
it.
good. The moral of the story is just to know what you want and go after it. And if you don't know what you want, that's okay. But maybe don't sign up for something or sign away a bunch of accrued debt, or just don't sit idly by. As long as there's
Don't be
movement, as long as
aimless and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Eventually, like without the Navy,
That's
I don't
it's
think
pretty
I would have
genetic
ever
or
realized.
generic
Yeah.
advice, which is good. And don't get us wrong, we're not spokespeople for the Navy or against college or for
against
college or literally anything.
We're
other
literally just
than
showing our
pursuit,
experiences. This
like
is
sharing
this is
experience
ours. Yeah.
and pursuit of what your purpose is. If everybody did what they believe their purpose is, or at least if everybody tried to find it, we'd live in a much more successful
Mhm.
Society.
For sure. Now, one thing I did was kind of interesting to me was someone was explaining the difference between a passion and a purpose. Seems to be on the same spectrum, but two totally different directions.
Well, tell me, what's the difference? That was the wrong sound.
I
Entirely.
mean, but it'll work.
All right. Go ahead.
So this is my interpretation of it. I'm no
Zach's interpretation.
Yeah, we're gonna have that. We'll have a sound. We're gonna make a soundboard. I'm gonna get it right in front of me. I'll do all the sounds. It'll be great.
Soundboard, but also like theme song for every part. All right, today is
Zach's interpretation.
Zach's interpretations.
Oh, that's gonna be a whole show. That's gonna be a whole separate show. All right. So anyway, back to it. Difference between purpose and passion. I believe both same spectrum, right? Two totally different directions, as I said before. To have a passion, something that you love, something you adore, you need to be the best at it.
Yeah.
You want to excel in it, and you want to be surrounded by it and just live, eat, sleep, breathe your passion. But it's for you. Your passion is for yourself. Your passion, if we sat and if I played guitar for the sole purpose just to be better at guitar, that's my passion. But it never gets shared with the world. A purpose, that's when it's for other people.
That's your direct
That's
contribution
your direct
to
contribution
society.
to society is
Yeah.
your purpose. That's the biggest.
So I guess getting
difference.
those two to line up, that's the sweet spot.
Well, honestly, they can, in my opinion, they are two totally different things. Because my purpose is for us to be musicians and share our love of music with the world. That is our purpose. I believe is Absolute Silence. That's our direction. If our passion was to be in a band and play music, we would probably still be as big as we could ever be, which is where we are now.
Yeah.
A couple hundred followers, and that's about it.
And
That's what I like
a
about it.
Wednesday night midnight show. No, we had a Friday night spot.
We did.
We had a Friday
the
night
holding
spot.
company. That was
and
amazing.
they kind of that was really awesome. And we were 30 minutes away from having a packed house.
Oh,
we
man.
just started
We were
halfway through our set. I mean, when did we start? We had to we
9?
elected no.
Oh,
earlier.
yeah,
we elected to start earlier because they messed up the time slots. So we elected to
We
start
still
early.
played our whole
just 'cause
set,
it pl-
though.
no,
Honestly, yeah, we did
exactly to
play
play
our
our whole set. Our option was to play half a set or less than a whole set and start later.
when
Hindsight
more
might have been
people were
good,
going to be there, but
or just start playing and then people will continue to filter in, and that's why I was like, let's play
out,
music.
and
No,
honestly,
it worked
like-
out and it was great. Had we had it extended a little longer, we would have been playing to a full house. I mean, it was like
do you remember the names of the band that were playing there? It was like
Suede Radio.
Suede
Suede
Radio. That was the
Those
second
guys
band
were
to play after
dope.
those. Those guys are very nice.
Those guys are
Very
dope,
nice
and we
gentlemen.
still want to actually kind of reach out to them. They wanted to do a joint gig. I
Yeah,
forget who the later guys were, but they kind of were doing their own thing.
they were. They really
They
were.
were like, they had all their keyboards. They were kind of like not an
was
electronic band.
booming,
They
honestly.
were
It
really
was
cool. They were
very-
kind of like an electronic alt band, and they were like 30, 35, and they just went in there with their like gear set up very sternly.
Two of
had
them
a
had
really,
synths
really
with like the
solid-
double keyboards, and then they had a drummer.
Had a
and
really,
it was
they had a
amazing.
really tight show.
It was
a really
very
tight
good.
show, and it was really cool. And they were like, and you never got into any one of their personalities. They literally just walked up there, played their set, pretty cool, wrapped it up, left. They didn't really talk.
If for some day the band that was playing hears this, know that we're not trying to bash you.
Well,
at
we
all.
didn't give their name.
we
Actually,
didn't get
never
the
talked to-
name.
I mean, we were the little guys.
We were the
opening
little
show.
guys.
We were the little guys opening the show.
But I think it's the biggest thing to be upfront
Yeah.
and talk to the people and like
talk
who
to
else
the
is-
opener band.
Like
if
when
you're
Suede
the, if
Radio,
you're
like,
the,
hey, you guys playing? Like, yeah, we're playing.
those guys were
Yeah.
dope. I'm looking forward
really
to
cool.
They had a very unique sound.
Be present and presentable.
He would be awesome to have on the podcast.
Ah,
Let's talk about other
Yes.
guests. We totally. There's a future. There's a future for this podcast. We're probably running low on time. We've been going for a while. We don't.
I
want
mean, it's okay. We could chop.
we can
whatever
chop
out.
it, but we don't want our first podcast to just like
I mean, most podcasts are like an hour long. Believe it or not.
I feel like we'll
the
have more.
common
I feel like
time
the
is about
20
an
to
hour.
40 minute might be the most successful.
That's probably enough to keep people's time span. Because if
Probably.
you're going to listen to a
Yeah.
podcast, you're going to listen to it. I know a lot of people that listen to it
Yeah.
and then they stop.
And
then
they
listen to
resume.
it again. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
even so. But anyway,
But
other guests
let's
that we
see.
might have.
future guests that we might have on the show. Like there is a direction for the show. Like we can talk about not only like this episode. We talked about our own experiences, and we'll still there's way more.
Yeah,
that
we're
we could
probably
talk
all over the
about.
place. But honestly, I think
But-
if you stick around, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be fun. I like this. This is cool.
Lord knows
Next,
we can talk.
so we have a few options for who our next guests are going to be. We have to ask them first, but because we just threw this together and we just said, but
I don't think they'd say no.
Brianna
Brianna
Keeter, she did
Phenomenal
this.
artist.
Let's show them the guitar.
Oh my goodness, show them the guitar.
So for the people that are watching, not listening, for the people that are listening, this is what it sounds like.
What's the type of Fender acoustic that is?
I don't care. It's just
It's like the
it's acoustic
California.
Fender. Yeah,
something.
it's new. It came out a couple years ago. It's got Fishman pickups. It's a really nice pickup. But anyway,
Look at
the
that
artwork on the guitar. Actually, this camera's closer.
Look at that.
So
Beautiful.
the artwork on this guitar is awesome. Done by
Handmade by Brianna
Brianna
Keeter.
Keeter, and it's actually she did all my tattoos. So the peony here, the swallow, waves and stuff. So it's like it's unique to me, and this is the acoustic that I use playing live.
I'm gonna get her to do my my SG before we leave.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, I want it sanded, and if you're matching
That's
your
sketchy.
tattoos, I want to get my skulls and
That
my rose.
that would be pretty cool.
Because I got the
That'd
rose
be
and the
pretty
skull,
cool.
just like my strap. My strap
Yeah.
has the roses and skulls on it.
It's awesome.
That could be
I love
awesome.
custom stuff, and especially when you're
Personal.
playing it.
Make it personal.
And,
That's
but
what
like
it is.
playing with it live, there's something not only when you're just playing it yourself, but there's something that when you have really like the tools you're using to make your craft, when those are unique, and when those might strike an emotional chord or have some kind of like they have character already just associated with them visually. Who knows what they can do sonically?
Oh yeah.
So she did that. We have a painting over there by her. We're looking
what did
forward
she
to
call it?
working
Do you
with her.
remember what she called it?
I don't know how to name. We've had all kinds of. Her sisters made earrings. I'm actually making a wooden case for this piano that she's going to be doing for when we play live. That's going to be awesome too. But
What other
she's
artists
actually
do we have coming
the
up?
reason why we would want to have her on the show is because she's going to be featuring in our music video.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it
more
with
later.
her. Well, should we talk about like the concept or no? We'll talk about the video concept in a later podcast. But she's going to be featured in it. We've got this really kind of. It features her artistic style. I don't know exactly if this podcast is coming out before or after that music video, so we'll keep that under wraps. But she'd be a really dope, really close friend of ours, really dope to have on the podcast.
Sure.
Definitely love to have her. She'll come through.
Absolutely.
Bryant Lamar.
Bryant Lamar.
Give a quick insight to Bryant Lamar, who he is and what he does.
Well,
Zach insight.
Zach's interpretation. Bryant Lamar. Well, the first time I met him, you were actually playing with his band, the Ados. Which was,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just all jamming
He
together.
invited you to play with him, and
Yep.
then you were like, well, let me see if he'll let you play too. And sure
Yep.
enough, we got up there, and he opened for us for when we did our Rock and Roll San Diego set. He's a really down-to-earth man. He really is.
Really down to earth guy, and
He knows what he wants.
he worked for a record label in Texas. I forgot exactly his
I thought it was
position there.
Oklahoma.
And he's from Oklahoma,
From
and I think he
Oklahoma.
went to Houston. I believe he went to Houston. If I'm butchering his story, he's going to be on the podcast. So Bryant Lamar, he'll be here, kind of to give more in-depth background in his story. But he's been awesome to work with, helping us out in marketing, kind of
For You Media Group is
For You
his-
Media Group, and he's followed us around. We'll talk about the experience of how it was to be followed around on camera. He produced that video, the behind the scenes.
for Before I Met You.
For Before I Met You.
And he's been kind of putting
Day in the
together
Life
our
of an Outside
campaigns for Before I Met You, White Noise, and
And
soon
a future
to be announced
project that also came out.
Project.
Not came out, going to be coming out probably within 2 months. That'll be out. We just actually sent that back to the engineer we're going to be mixing
For sure.
a monster project, but we're not going to talk about it yet. So yeah, he could be on the show. We got, and then our drummer Jesse, absolutely.
And
I
if he
don't think-
wants to, Christian Cummings.
Yeah, I don't know about. I think it's boring to talk about people that are coming on it. They'll be here.
Probably, but I mean,
They'll
this is
be
the
here.
pilot. Give the people, something to look
Yeah.
forward to.
Yeah, I
Just
guess.
really talking about our people we have met through
Yeah.
networking. Our
Stories though.
friends
People
and-
want to hear stories.
People want to hear stories. Yeah.
So how should we conclude this? What's a good story to conclude
this story? I don't know. What do you got over there?
What do you think was the coolest moment that we've had?
The coolest moment.
We went from playing Barrick's guitar to our current insane
State.
mediocrity
Oh yeah.
What's been your
man.
highlight of this ride so far, you think?
Highlight of the ride. I don't know. The Wonder Bus was pretty cool.
I was thinking that, but I wouldn't say
I
it
wouldn't
because
say
like,
that's the best.
I wasn't
it's
like
cool,
the one
but
that
it's not great.
that
You know,
affected me to really like kind of shook my bones of like, well, we're doing something. What would you say?
I would almost say I feel like our first show at the holding company, or when we did Spare Parts, like that whole music video experience.
That whole video
That whole
experience.
with
That was
Lori.
like we all knew with working with Lori.
Maybe she'd be on the podcast.
I don't know if she would, but that would be awesome. But yeah, she's an awesome cellist, and she has stories. She has she's got many decades of musical experience. She's worked with Lionel Richie, the Moody Blues.
Oh my lord!
Played with like incredible people. It would be really cool to have her on the podcast.
Really
But anyway, awesome
and
cellist.
on future projects. If we could.
And on future projects, she was the cellist for Spare Parts. That was playing with her. That was everybody that was a part of that project knew that something special was being made.
Absolutely.
And I think honestly, the recording of Before I Met You.
Oh man!
And then Parts on White Noise. Honestly, making these and knowing that the feeling of like something good is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I guess being in the studio was dope. I
love being in the studio.
Being in the studio.
Anytime I'm in the studio, honestly, is
it's a
the
good
best.
day. It's a
really
good day.
is a good day.
The whole process of it. The whole
day I wake up and make my coffee and go into the studio.
We've tried so many
day.
things of like what our routine is. We've tried like and before shows too. Like what's our routines like? Like sometimes we surf before, sometimes we work out before. We have a couple rules now.
Right.
Actually, specifically those two is that we don't surf, we don't heavily exercise, we try to just kind of be in a chill state because we've really exerted our bodies sometimes.
Oh my
and then you
gosh.
just feel dead.
And then when
the
you're on
vocal cords are
stage,
tight.
it just gets worse. I mean, being on stage itself is tiring.
It is.
You
Oh my
know,
god, I
'cause
sweat.
your
I
heart-
sweat so much if I.
You need to start wearing a bandana.
I should
Maybe
just
that
that'll
could be
my
your look.
thing.
Maybe
That'll
you
be my
wear a
thing.
bandana
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Keep Niagara Falls.
So coolest moment, be in the studio.
Honestly, being in the
Useful.
studio. I love being
Yeah.
in the studio. Anytime in the studio, love it.
I would say.
That's my coolest moment.
I think so.
Because that feels, it's like, man, like this is really happening. We're making greatness here, you know?
Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap it up. We'll say the next episode is coming soon. We'll see how this goes, like editing, putting together, see what the turnaround time's like. And this is for the people that watch this first episode can now join the journey of of not only this podcast but our story, and we're sharing the current events that are happening with us and the people that we're currently working with. And this will, I'd imagine, travel with us to Nashville too later this year. But
obviously different setting, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun.
It is gonna be cool. Yeah.
We'll upgrade our equipment. We'll start maybe getting a little area somewhere. We already am set up. Just come in, sit down, start recording. The future looks bright, honestly, and I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
ecstatic. It's gonna be great.
Almost as good as the next podcast. Cut.